Hello everyone, welcome to today's class. Today, we are going to learn about pipeline labeling. The pipeline should be labeled with 4 components. The pipeline number, consisting of 3 units, the pipe diameter, the pipeline class, and the insulation or soundproofing, collectively referred to as the pipeline identification number. The pipeline number and the pipe diameter form one group, separated by a short hyphen. The pipeline class and the insulation or soundproofing form another group, also separated by a short hyphen with an appropriate space between the 2 groups, as shown in the figure below. There are 6 units, with the first 4 units forming one group and the last 2 units forming another group. Now, let's take a look at another representation method. The pipeline number, pipe diameter, pipeline class, and insulation or soundproofing code can also be labeled above and below, or to the left and right of the pipeline as shown below. The first 4 units are placed above and the last 2 units are placed below, separated by a long horizontal line in between, as shown in the figure below. The first unit is the material code, which is formed by taking the initials of the English noun representing the material's name and state. It is generally represented by 2 or 3 uppercase letters. Common material codes are listed in the table below. For example, PA represents process air, PL, PG, and PS represent process, liquid, gas, and solid respectively. LS, MS, and HS represent low pressure, medium pressure, and high pressure steam respectively. CWS and CWR represent circulating cooling water supply and circulating cooling water supply and return respectively. Next, let's continue to understand the representation of other units. The second unit is the main item number, which is filled in according to the main item number specified in the project. It uses 2 digits starting from 01 and ending at number 99. The third unit is the pipeline sequence number for materials of the same category within the same main item. The numbering follows the flow direction in sequence. It also uses 2 digits starting from 01 and ending at number 99. The first, second, and third units together form the pipeline number. The fourth unit is the pipeline specification, which generally indicates the nominal diameter in millimeters. Only the number is noted without the unit. For example, a metric pipeline with DN 200 is simply labeled as 200, while a 2-inch imperial pipeline is represented as 2. Next, let's learn about the representation of the subsequent units. The 5th unit is the pipeline class, which consists of the following 3 parts. The first part represents the nominal pressure rating code of the pipeline. The second part represents the sequence number of the pipeline material class. The third part represents the material type code of the pipeline. The first part is the nominal pressure rating code of the pipeline, represented by uppercase letters. Letters AG are used for ASME, American Society of Mechanical Engineers standard pressure rating codes, while letters H, Z are used for domestic standard pressure rating codes. Refer to the table below for details. For example, A represents 150 lb/pounds, equivalent to 2 megapascals. B represents 300 lb/pounds, equivalent to 5 megapascals. H represents 0.25 megapascals. L represents 1.0 megapascals, and so on. Let's continue to learn about the representation of other units. The second part is the sequence number of the pipeline material class. represented by Arabic numerals ranging from 1 to 9 under the same pressure rating and pipeline material type code. There can be 9 different series of pipeline material classes. The third part is the material type code of the pipeline, represented by uppercase letters. Refer to the table below for details. For example, A represents cast iron, B represents carbon steel, C represents ordinary low alloy steel, D represents alloy steel, E represents stainless steel, F represents non-ferrous metals, G represents non-metallic materials, H represents lining and internal anti-corrosion materials. Finally, let's learn about the representation of the 6th unit. The 6th unit is the insulation or soundproofing code. Depending on the type of insulation or soundproofing function, uppercase letters are used as codes. Refer to the table below for details. For example, H represents heat insulation, C represents cold insulation, P represents personal protection, D represents anti-condensation, E represents electric heat tracing, S represents steam heat tracing, W represents hot water heat tracing, O represents thermal oil heat tracing, J represents jacketed heat tracing, N represents soundproofing. Through this lesson, we have learned about pipeline labeling, which consists of 4 components and a total of 6 units. I hope everyone can understand and master this knowledge.